Okay, so I did add a few additional touch-ups to get the Raven to stand out. Can you see it okay there? I did put this on the 100% pulp textured watercolor paper rather than that super smooth hot pressed 30% cotton. And we just finished it. I just sprayed it too, so it has a little bit of stuff, but I love it. This is the one we're doing right now. Join and watch the video, and I do have it time lapse so you can see it done relatively quickly and enjoy yourself. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining the Impromptu Life Creator Maker channel. So the first thing that I'm doing with this particular piece is a kind of just a color wash, or the very lightest colors, the very lightest first layers. And again, I don't want to muddy things, so I'm just kind of going to slowly add them on. And like the last one that I did, you can see the previous videos on the channels. I have pop surreal or surreal acrylic paintings. I've got coffee paintings, yes, paintings painted with actually real coffee, and other creative some of the little sculpture ones, working with floral clays for the sculpture art pieces and paintings. So just some fun knickknacks with little creative ways that I was doing things. But this one and a few of the last ones I did in time lapse so that you could see much more of the complete process. And I used to do a lot of mice with food items like candy corn and things like that. And I haven't done any in a while, so I started doing a few more mice pieces again. I know people really like them. And so I decided to do that. They're super cute. And I like to kind of have a story theme going on with them. But you'll see in here, although some of the paper is still a little wet, I'm jumping around in the painting to give the watercolor paper a minute to just sort of absorb and dry a little bit before I can come back over it again. So I'm really doing a lot of building up, and only the very, very last details, like in the picture I showed you at the beginning of the video, did I wait the next day to make sure it was thoroughly dry so I could see the colors in their full glory as a fully dried piece to see where or what I wanted to do darker. And I did decide after observing it that I wanted the Raven to be a little bit more standing out and from his mouse friend. And so I went ahead and I also worked a little bit more on the popsicle, but you'll see the first day from just me jumping around the painting and working on it. This is that whole process. This is basically everything's done. I just needed to decide if the colors in fact were going to dry as dark as I wanted, or if they were going to lighten up too much, or any of those things. As I've said in previous videos, I do like to sometimes come back to the piece either later on or the next day and re-look at it to make sure it's where I want it to be. And with this one, I did have a little bit more, just a little bit, with going darker the next day. And I actually think I did just a little bit of gouache shine on the popsicle. Like I might have went a little bit lighter in a couple spots too, but I pretty much have it by the end of this video exactly where I wanted it. But you could tell from at the beginning of the video, in case you decide to watch it again, how the piece looks a little different than at the end of this particular video. And again, what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of jumping back and forth, like to make sure that I have those underlayer colors dry enough to work over, but still soft enough that I can push that color around a little bit and not have it go muddy. I'm using my standards, like my magenta, a little bit of the stronger reds. I am using quite a bit of the different blues with lilac, actually. And it's it's a purple color, but I'm hoping you see where it's actually, when you were thinking of the subjects, coming out as this warm gray. But when you actually look at the painting, you can kind of see. That's what I like about not muddying up the colors, because you can actually see the colors kind of melding together. And I love that effect particularly in using watercolors. But I think it's also helpful to not overmix in other mediums as well. But with this, and I had to do this with his little hand. I decided to have him holding his his lollipop, with his little pinky up in the air. Don't ask me why. But it's almost as silly as the last Raven painting. I mean, it's not silly, it's just in the last Raven painting. If you saw that video, if you haven't, please go to my channel and see that one. I don't think the links below are actually links that go directly to the platforms that I sell my art on, and you can kind of see if there's any platforms there that you're familiar with, or that you trust doing business with, or however you decide that. And you'll find those pieces in some of those platforms, so that you can go look at what I have available. Sorry I don't have more available, but I am working on getting some inventory back in there, and doing a lot more artwork right now. And I really like these themes I'm doing. It's so funny, when I'm doing watercolors, I'm like, oh, I really love doing the watercolors, but I can't help but stop and think, oh, I really need to do something similar to this in acrylics. And then I just love all the different mediums. And a lot of my artwork, you'll see I'm mixing the mediums. Like, I'll have a whole thing that's watercolor, but maybe I'll come in with some gold embellishments, and those gold embellishments will either be in gold penning, or they will be actual gold paint. And yeah, you'll see what I mean if you go to the stores, or if you go to the other platform, or if you'll see what I mean. And even in a few of the previous videos, when I'm working on the dragons, my flying serpent snakes, what I mean, like, because most of those, as well as, I'm trying to think of which ones that I have in there that I actually recorded. I believe I even have like, for instance, the blue heron. It's just fun to have the gold embellishments, but yeah, I just love using all the different. I will also have some more painting sculptures coming. It's just, they take a lot more time. It is quite time consuming, and I want to make sure that I'm doing pieces of artwork that are in different price brackets. So I kind of will do, I know I just sold one, so I should be doing another one. I kind of was just going to do those as I'm selling them, to replace what I have sold. We'll see, because I'm going to be out doing other things, because this is the Creator Maker channel. I'm planning on doing some other things that are very creative, but more building stuff. So you'll see more of those videos. They might not be under this particular category in the channel, the Impromptu Life. It may be in the off-grid. What do I even have it labeled as? I'm so bad. One of the different categories. I have 3 different categories. And anyway, like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Let's do another one.